impose, impose, impose. Let's talk about the word impose. So, the part of speech for impose is a verb, which means it shows an action or an activity. Commonly, we use impose to mean that someone or something forces their will or rules on others, often in a way that isn't very welcome. For example, if the government imposes a new tax on citizens, it means they're making people pay more money whether they like it or not. We also use impose when we talk about forcing our own opinions or standards on someone else. Like if you try to impose your idea of what's right and wrong on a friend who thinks differently. One special note is that impose can sometimes be used in a more formal or official context, so it's not always suitable for everyday conversations. In a formal setting, such as a diplomatic speech, you might say, the international community will impose strict sanctions on any country that fails to comply with the new peace treaty. This sentence uses the word impose to convey a sense of authority and obligation. In contrast, in a casual conversation between friends, someone might joke, "I'm going to impose my playlist on you all at the party tonight. Get ready for some ear bleeding." Dance music. Here, impose is used to add a playful touch and to imply that one's preferences will be dominant. In a business or academic context, such as a conference presentation, you might say, the new tax policy will impose a significant burden on small businesses, requiring them to adapt quickly in order to remain competitive. This sentence uses the word impose to describe a situation where external circumstances affect an organization's operations. When we talk about impose, we're referring to a way of making something happen or requiring someone to do or accept something that they might not have chosen themselves. It's like putting a demand on someone or forcing a rule or expectation onto a situation. Main characteristics are that it's often used in situations where there's no real choice, and someone is being told what to do or how things will be done by another person who has more power or authority. When you think of similar concepts or synonyms, words like enforce, mandate, dictate, or even tell come up. They all suggest a kind of pressure or requirement. Integrate, integrate, integrate. So, let's talk about the word integrate. As a verb, it means to combine different things into a single whole, often to make them work together more effectively or efficiently. For example, you might say, the new manager was able to integrate the sales and marketing teams to create a more effective strategy. Common usage of this word includes using it in contexts related to business, education, and social issues, such as integration of technology into the classroom or integration of diverse communities into society. What's also important to note is that the word integrate has a bit of a double meaning. Sometimes it can mean to make something part of a larger group, but other times it can mean to analyze and understand something complex, like in calculus. So, just be mindful of the context when using this word, and you'll be good to go. Here are 3 example sentences using the word integrate with varying contexts. In a formal university setting, such as in a lecture on education policy, Professor Thompson might say, to address the issue of unequal access to quality education, it's essential for governments to integrate technology into existing curricula, allowing all students to benefit from innovative teaching methods. In this context, integrate means to incorporate or combine something, in this case, technology, with an existing system or process. The professor is advocating for a seamless inclusion of digital tools in the educational system. In a casual conversation between friends over coffee, Emily might say, "I've been trying to integrate my old jogging routine into my busy schedule. But it's tough when you have to juggle work and social life." Here, integrate means to combine or coordinate something. In this case, her jogging routine with other aspects of her life. Emily is expressing the challenge of fitting in physical activity with her demanding daily commitments. In a business meeting discussing marketing strategies, James might say, "Our new team members' expertise in social media will help us integrate our online presence with our offline advertising campaigns, creating a more cohesive brand image." In this context, integrate means to bring together or unify different components. In this case, online and offline marketing efforts into a single, unified strategy. James is highlighting the potential benefits of combining digital and traditional marketing methods to create a consistent brand identity. So you want to learn about a concept that helps bring different things together into a single, cohesive whole? Well, imagine taking multiple puzzle pieces and fitting them together perfectly so they form a complete picture. That's kind of what this idea does. It's a way of combining two or more separate parts, like information, skills, or even systems, to create something new and useful that has the qualities of all the original parts combined. This helps make things work better, save time, and sometimes even solve problems in a more efficient way. For example, think about how your phone can use maps from one app, music from another, and contacts from yet another. It's like taking those separate features and making them work together seamlessly on one device. Internal. 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 As we explore the word internal, let's start with its part of speech. It can be an adjective, meaning something is related to the inside or within oneself. In common usage, you'll often hear or read words like internal conflict, internal struggles, or internal heat, which all refer to feelings or sensations happening from the inside out. For instance, if someone says they're experiencing internal doubts about a decision, it means their thoughts and emotions are conflicting with each other on the inside. One special note about its usage is that when using internal in phrases like on an internal level, people usually mean something deep within themselves, even if it's not explicitly stated. So, keep that nuance in mind when discussing abstract or personal ideas. Here are 3 practical example sentences using the word internal with varying levels of formality. In a formal setting, such as a university lecture, you might say, "The internal dynamics of a black hole were discussed at length by Professor Johnson in last week's seminar." This sentence uses internal to refer to the physical processes that occur within a black hole, emphasizing its complex and intricate nature. Context: a physics student is discussing the topic of discussion in their university lecture. In casual conversation with a friend, you might say, "I've been trying to figure out the internal workings of my new phone, but the manual is super confusing." This sentence uses internal to refer to the inner mechanisms or functions of an object, in this case, a phone, implying that it's not easily understood. Context: 2 friends are chatting about their personal experiences with technology. In business or academic writing, you might say, "The internal audit team conducted a thorough review of our company's financial procedures and made several recommendations for improvement." This sentence uses internal to refer to an organization's own auditing processes and personnel, emphasizing its self-regulatory nature. Context: A CEO is reporting on the findings of an internal audit in a company newsletter. So, you're trying to get a sense of what internal means. Well, think of it like this. When we talk about something being internal, we're talking about things that are on the inside of something else. For example, if you have a car, the engine is an internal part of the car, it's not something you can see from the outside. The main characteristics of something being internal are that they're hidden from view and play a crucial role in how the bigger thing works. In that sense, similar concepts or synonyms might be things like inside, within, or core. And what does it do? Well, an internal part is often what makes something tick, it's the essential component that helps it function properly. Does that make sense?